For the review, number 1, x to the third times x to the 8th. This is the shortcut where we add exponents. Remember, x to the third means write out 3 of them. X to the 8th means write out 8 of them. So that would be 11 total. Okay, add exponents. Number 2, okay, we have our shortcut rule where you say 7 minus 3 is 4 and the bigger numbers on bottom. Or you can write them out. There's 3. There's 7. Okay, so 3 cancel and there's still 4 on bottom. Five to the negative 4. A negative exponent means to flip. Okay, we flip a negative exponent. That means 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. And that is 625. Okay, it flipped because of the negative 4 exponent. Okay, everything's being raised to the 1/2. 4 to the 1/2 means put it inside a root. The number on top goes in, the number on bottom goes out. So that's the square root of 4, which is 2. Now when you have a power and another power, you multiply your powers. So we're going to multiply 6 over 1 times 1 over 2. Multiply straight across. Divide. So that means that's x to the third. Okay, we're figuring out the exponent. Okay, the y is the same. We multiply the exponents. So 10 over 1 times 1/2, multiply straight across. 10 times 1, 1 times 2, divide. Okay, so that's the exponent for the y. Okay, so what's the whole answer? 2 x to the third, y to the 5th. Okay, this says rationalize the denominator, which means make the denominator have a regular number and not a square root. Okay, so the trick is to multiply the top and the bottom by the opposite sign of what's on bottom. Okay, the opposite of 4 minus is 4 plus. And whatever you do to the bottom, you do to the top. So we're going to distribute on top 2 times 4, 2 times the square root of 7. On bottom, we FOIL because they're 2 and 2, 4 pieces. First, 4 times 4. Outside is 4 times the square root of 7. Inside, negative 4 times the square root of 7. Last, negative times positive. Square root of 7 times square root of 7 is square root of 7 times 7. Okay, the top stays the same. In the bottom, those cancel. The square root of 49 is 7. We don't add what's on top because they're not like terms. On bottom, 16 minus 7 is 9. Okay, subtracting, we have to have a common denominator, but we need to factor that x squared minus 4 on the right, which is x plus 2 and x minus 2. Okay, the common denominator is not what they have in common. The common denominator is what they can both become by either multiplying or leaving it alone. Okay, so if I multiply in an x minus 2, if I multiply in an x minus 2 on the left, those denominators will match. Okay, so x minus 2, x minus 2. So I'm going to distribute the x at the top left, x times x times minus 2. Okay, now they have the same denominator, so I'm going to write everything on the denominator, or everything on the top all together. There aren't any like terms, square, x, number. So this is still continued, 6 continued. X squared minus 2x minus 8. I'm going to factor the top. Anytime you have x squared, it most likely factors. So we want to multiply to negative 8 and add to negative 2, so that's negative 4 plus 2. Now we can see that these x plus 2's divide out. And that is our final answer. Okay, now factoring. This is a trinomial with an understood 1. So we want two numbers that multiply to 35, add to 12. So that's 5 and 7. Number 8 is also a trinomial with an understood 1. Multiply to negative 15, add to negative 2. So that's a negative 5 and a positive 3. Number 9 is a binomial, difference of squares, which means it's got 2, it's subtract, and it's something times itself. 9x squared is 3x times 3x. 4 is 2 times 2. To get it to multiply to a negative, we do plus minus. That also makes the O and the I cancel out. Number 10 is division of fractions. That's plus 11x plus 30. Okay, so we're going to keep flip change. Keep the first. We flip the second. and it changes to multiplication. Okay, now I'm going to factor. The top left, multiply to 24, add to 10. Okay, it's a trinomial with an understood one. Bottom left, also a trinomial with an understood one. So multiply to 30, add to 11. 6 and 5. The top right, also a trinomial with a 1. Multiply to 45, add to 9. Or sorry, multiply to 45, add to 14 will be 9 and 5. Now the bottom right's different. We've got a common factor of x that we're going to factor out, which leaves x plus 4. Okay, now we're going to look for what can divide out, cancel out. We've got these x plus 6's, x plus 4's, and x plus 5. So our final answer is x plus 9 is on top and x is on bottom. And that's the end of our review.